Google interview answers are hard, especially questions asking you to explain something. By following a simple formula, I've seen my clients have great success in these types of answers. So, what is that formula? For explanation questions like explain Google Ads to a 6 year old, use the CAS method. So, we're going to clarify, use assumptions, and offer at least one solution. So, let's quickly highlight why these steps are important before diving into a couple of sample answers to this question. Clarifying is really important because our audience might have a specific path or a specific direction in mind, but we don't know what that is unless we clarify or try to clarify their preferred direction. So we can do that by simply asking a handful of either or yes or no questions. And we use closed questions to ideally data gather and not force the interviewer to come up with the ideas or answers for us. Next, we make assumptions. This is a powerful tool that will help you and help your interviewer follow along and be able to picture what you're explaining because you have provided strong visuals. Then, lastly, we solve. And we solve depending on the question for how deep we want to dive. In this specific question we're tackling today, the solution should be shorter because we know that the typical child has a short attention span. So let's dive in. As always, we'll imagine our fake interviewer is Sue, and she asks us the following question: Jeff, explain Google Ads to a 6 year old. Sue, before diving in, I want to ask some clarifying questions. Am I meeting this child for the first time, or do I know this child well? Is the child familiar with basic internet concepts like websites and videos? How long do I have to explain it? 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 3 minutes? And will all of this be explained verbally, or can I use visual tools as well? Okay, let's make a few assumptions. I'm assuming I'm meeting this child for the first time. They have some basic familiarity with the internet, such as websites and YouTube videos. I have about 1 minute to explain it to them before losing their attention, and I will not be able to utilize any visual tools. So let's go ahead and solve. Imagine I'm speaking to the child and I'm telling them, I want you to think of Google Ads as a smart helper. So when you're watching a YouTube video about dinosaurs on your iPad, for example, the helper knows you like dinosaurs and will show you new cool dinosaur toys that you might really like. But when you're playing a game, maybe it's a puzzle game, for example, it will show you cool puzzles you might like instead. So when you're on YouTube, the helper, which is Google Ads, shows you ads about dinosaurs or puzzles you might want. But here's the neat part. If you switch from watching dinosaur videos to playing puzzle games, the helper changes too. Now, instead of showing you dinosaur ads, it might show you ads about cool puzzles. It always tries to show you ads that match what you're doing at that time. This helper is really smart because it remembers what you like. If you spend a lot of time looking at dinosaurs, it knows that you're a big fan of them and shows you more ads about them. But it also knows to not show you the same thing too many times or things that you're not interested in because that's annoying. In this way, Google Ads is like a helpful guide, always ready to show you the best toys or things you're interested in at just the right time. So, this is showing how to explain something simple to an audience we don't know, again, with some assumptions that this child has familiarity with the internet, specifically YouTube, Google, etc. But oftentimes, when we get into a position or role, we actually do know quite a bit about our audience. So, I want to quickly go through this exercise another time. And this time, what we're going to imagine is we're going to imagine we have a close relationship with this child. Again, that's kind of putting you more in the hat of the role and thinking about if you're solving in the role that you may know the stakeholders you're speaking to. So we'd ask similar clarifying questions to explaining Google Ads to a 6 year old. We'd want to know, am I meeting this child for the first time or do I know them? Are they familiar with basic internet concepts like website and videos? I'd want to know how long I have to explain it, 1, 2, or 3 minutes. And then I'd want to know if I'm explaining it verbally or I have visual tools. Now, in this case, I'd make some different assumptions. So let's start there. So I'd like to make some assumptions. I'm assuming that this 6 year old is my son. I know they love YouTube and Google and have a really good idea of how to navigate things online, even as a 6 year old. I have about a minute to explain it to my son because, like any 6 year old, I know he loses focus quickly and will not be able to utilize any visual tools for this answer. So I would talk to him and say, "Hey, buddy, you know when you watch your favorite YouTube videos about superheroes and suddenly see an ad for a new superhero toy? That's Google Ads working. It's like a smart helper that knows you love superheroes and shows you cool superhero stuff. When you look for things on Google, like games or cartoons, think of Google Ads like a detective. It remembers what you like and shows you ads about those things. So if you're watching superhero videos, it shows you superhero toy ads. But if you switch to watching animal videos, for example, it might show you ads about animal toys or books on animals. It's super quick and smart, always changing the ads to match what you're interested in at that time. But it's also careful to not show you too many ads or ads about things you don't like. It wants to make sure you have fun and find cool stuff you love when you're watching YouTube videos or searching on Google. So, Google Ads is like a smart friend who knows what you like and shows you exciting things about those things, making your time on YouTube and Google even more fun. So, whatever your assumptions, you can cater your answer accordingly. But keeping the young audience's mind in mind is critical. And something my clients have found valuable is always to cater the assumptions to the audience they're speaking to, especially when it's an explanation type of question. But in general, when answering hypothetical questions, it's always helpful to keep the audience and stakeholders in mind. It will be a game changer. And as you saw in this video, I really spoke with the pitch and tone that I would speak to a 6 year old with. Really important to always remember again to cater to our audience. I really hope this video helps. Good luck.